What's up, guys? Welcome back to High Thoughts Part 8. Today, we're going to be talking about what's really in those Swisher Sweets that you're rolling up, and also give you guys some suggestions on blunts that you should roll instead of Swisher Sweets. Now, how this topic came up and why I decided to do a video on it was I saw one of my boys rolling up a nice Swisher Sweet, and it was a nice fat roll. It was a good roll, I can't lie, but those are just so disgusting. You taste all those nasty flavors in it. I was thinking there's gotta be more natural blunts, and I wanted to think, what's the most natural blunt that we could smoke? What would help the community best understand what blunt we should all be smoking? Before we get into the video, I do have to remind you guys, if you enjoy the content and if you want to get faded with me more often, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and comment what blunt wraps you'll be rolling with every day. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, for those of you who don't know what a Swisher Sweet is, a Swisher Sweet is a flavored cigarello. Most of the time it comes with tobacco put in it, but most people will just cut it open or tear it open and pour out the tobacco and, put in a little cushion there and roll it up and get a nice little blunt. The main appeal to Swisher Sweets specifically is that they are heavily flavored. Every smoker's been there where you've busted open a pack of Swishers and immediately got a fat whiff of blueberry from your nice blueberry Swisher Sweets. Well, I do understand the appeal of Swisher Sweets, but personally that is not my go-to, as they are super flavored and they just taste super chemically. I'm not gonna hate on your parade though. If you like Swishers, you like Swishers, you can keep smoking those. I'm just here to inform the public. Now, to better understand what is in a Swisher Sweet, let me take you guys through exactly how Swisher Sweets are made. So the first step in making a Swisher Sweet is the tobacco cultivation process. So this is the growing of the tobacco, which is the primary ingredient used, the harvesting of the tobacco, most of the time done in South America. And then they take said tobacco that was grown and they cure it. So they air cure it first. They let it hang there for a while, for multiple weeks, to let it cure, and then they let it ferment. And that helps develop the flavor and reduce the harshness of the tobacco. Now, after the curing of the tobacco, they move to the blending and flavoring process, which is where the flavor additives are added in a Swisher Sweet. And we'll get into some of those flavor additives later, but some of the main flavors in Swisher Sweets include vanilla, cherry, grape. Those are some of the main ones. Blueberry is the one that I was initially hooked on. And then the next is the rolling of the cigars. A Swisher Sweet is rolled by a machine, not by hand. So the machine rolls it into a nice, perfect shape so that they can keep production costs down, and it's very consistent. Then a fake leaf wrapper is wrapped around it to give it a nice and smooth coat. And then they put it straight into the package that you all know and send it to your local smoke shop. Now, at this point, you bet you're asking, but Kiru, what makes a Swisher Sweet so bad? And boy, do I have a plethora of answers for you guys. Now, to start, any blunt that is not all natural, that has any sort of flavoring, is going to have additives that are going to harm your lungs and harm your immune system. For example, vanilla flavoring in your favorite blunts. Ethyl vanillin is one of the main ingredients used, and exposure to that can cause irritation to the eyes, skin, and respiratory system. Another example is benzaldehyde, which causes cherry-like flavor in your favorite blunts, and that can also cause irritation to the eye, skin, and respiratory system, but this one can also be harmful to the liver and kidneys when inhaled with combustion. And one of the most egregious examples of things they're putting in almost all of our blunts is acetaldehyde, which is a compound that is a known carcinogen, which, if you don't know what that means, is just a fancy way of saying it's known to cause cancer. And prolonged exposure to this can cause damage to the liver and nervous system. Now, the next question you may be asking me is, oh, well, if all these blunts are bad, what should I smoke then? And that's a great question. Now, the cleanest thing you can smoke is a nice water pipe bong. But if you really want to smoke a blunt like myself, I'm going to tell you what to avoid when you're going blunt shopping. So the first thing you're going to want to avoid when you're blunt shopping is heavily flavored or artificially sweetened blunts. Those are going to be less natural. If you're going to want to smoke a blunt, go for an unflavored or an original variety. The next thing you're going to want to avoid is any tobacco wraps that don't use whole leaf tobacco. Those are going to also be way less natural, and you are able to find way better options, though they may be a little bit more expensive. And the final thing you're going to want to look for is a blunt that uses as little ingredients as possible. Now, in my hand right now, I have a pack of Backwoods, and on the back, these are Russian creams specifically. It says smooth vodka, fresh cream and coffee, all natural leaf wrapper. Now, because it has fresh cream and coffee flavoring, as it is a Russian cream, there are going to be slightly more additives, though it isn't all natural leaf wrapper. Now, to end off the video, I'm going to let you guys know some of the best blunt brands that you can go buy today at your local gas station, your local smoke shop, and I'm going to give you 3 options. One's going to be expensive, one's going to be mid-price, and one's going to be cheap. Now, to start with the cheap price, I'm personally going to go with unflavored Dutches. Sometimes you can get them for under $2. I can get them for under $2 still at my local gas station, which is super nice. Dutches aren't going to smoke the best, and they're not going to taste the best, but they're going to be pretty cheap, and they'll get the job done pretty well. Gotta give a quick shout out to my boy Jackson. I know my boy Jackson's out there smoking a Dutch somewhere out there. Can't say where he's at, but I know he's out there, so we're smoking a nice little Dutch. Now for my medium price pick, might be a little bit controversial, but I'm gonna pick Zigzags, and specifically Zigzag cones, because the Zigzag cone blunts are super convenient, and I actually like smoking cone blunts, believe it or not. There's very few things as satisfying as smoking a nice little Zigzag that you just packed. And you can grind up the weed too, you know, with any other blunt, it's easier to hand grind it. With a Zigzag cone, you can just put it in the grinder, makes it even easier. And for our expensive option today, you guys all know what it's gonna be. A nice backwood. These might be a little bit harder to roll than your traditional blunts, but it is 100% worth it. A backwood is my favorite way to smoke. Everyone smokes like that, you know, the Fronto man, DB Bowda Bag, be smoking backwoods all day. It's just the best way to smoke. Everyone be doing it. Gotta get on the backwoods if you haven't already. The only drawback to backwoods is a pack nowadays can be like $10. And a pack comes with 5, but like $10 is a bit steep. You can also get packs of 1, but that's still going to be the same price as a Zigzag, which, if I didn't say, is about $2.50 nowadays. The only drawback to a backwood is the price, but it smokes the best of any blunt. Besides maybe a loose leaf, I think a loose leaf can compete, but nothing compares to a backwood. But that's about all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did learn something, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below what you learned. And let me know what your favorite type of blunt to smoke on is. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope all of you have a great rest of your day, morning, night, whatever you're doing. Bless up. Take care.